Yo, what's going on, guys? So today in this video, I'm gonna be talking about Seth freaking Rollins and my issues with him in particular. I mean, because I feel like there's I just feel like I've been wanting to make this video for a while because there's like just some things that have really been bothering me about Seth Rollins recently, about his character. I've talked about it, some of them already on my channel with my Seth Rollins video that I made before about him not being a heel. I talked about it, some of that stuff briefly in that video, and in some of my other videos too. But like, you know, I talked about it in some of those videos as well. But I want to like get full into detail, um, and just explain everything on why I don't like Seth. My issues with him. And so yeah, I'm just hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Like, subscribe to the channel. If you guys are new, I'd really appreciate it. Um, and the reason I haven't been uploading too, by the way, because I know last week, like I was planning. There was a whole bunch of video ideas I had in my head. There were certain people in WWE I wanted to talk about, and certain characters. Um, and I just never did it. And so I was just like, and it was because I was like, either I was like, just being lazy or I was busy. So that's my bad, guys. But I'm back now. I'm gonna be making these videos. I'm gonna try to make them consistently and more often. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy. I'd really appreciate it. And yeah, we're just gonna dive right into this. So now that we got all that out of the way, my issues with Seth Rollins is very simple. I'm gonna lay it all out one by one here. So here's the thing: Seth Rollins, he's someone that I like Seth Rollins as a character. As a whole, I enjoy his character. I just don't like who he is currently right now. But as a whole, in general, yeah, I like Seth Rollins. I definitely do. I enjoy him, but not currently because look at what he's doing right now. He's he's um he's aligned himself with a useless group, a meaningless group that has there's no reason for why they're in a group together. It's him, Paul Heyman, um, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed. We never got um a full on explanation for why they even decided to team together. Yeah, they said, oh, you know, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, they briefly talked about how, oh, we want to be a part of Seth's vision, and Bronson Reed talking about how, oh, me tsunami, you know, hitting Seth with all these tsunamis built a respect between us, and it's just like they briefly explain these things, but they never explain, okay, well, why did Bronson Reed tsunami Seth Rollins? Why did that build a respect between them? Why? What was the reason, and why did Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker like? Why did they want to be a part of Seth's vision, for the future of this industry? Why did they want to save the company? Why are they, you know, agreeing with his plans and his motivations? We never got any explanation for any of this. They're just like, oh yeah, we just agree with his vision. We have respect for him, and we're just gonna be a part of his group. That's literally all this is. There's nothing, there's no substance to any of this. And then Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman, okay, why did they team together? Obviously they have the same hatred towards Rollins and Punk, um, which, okay, fine, whatever. But I just, Seth, Paul Heyman agrees with Seth's vision of the future of the industry and saving the company from people like Punk and Roman. Blah blah blah. I get all that. Okay, fine. But I just feel like they it's like I said, they give us these brief explanations, but no like full on explanations for why they actually any of these people are teaming together in a faction. We got the vision, all of these people, okay? why does Paul Heyman um why does Paul Heyman want to team with Seth because they have the same um like why did he want to team with Seth just because they have the same hatred for Punk and Roman and the same goals of just making Seth the vision of the future, and saving the company. Like, why did Paul agree with that? Why did Paul want to join them just because they have the same hatred towards the same people as well? Like, what was like they have to give us more than just these surface level, you know, details that they're giving us. It's just like to me, it's just very cheap. It's very, and I just don't feel like it's really you know, meaningful to just like put them, Seth and Paul Heyman in a group together just because, they have the same hatred towards the same people and they, it's like, oh, okay, like, and like, it just makes no sense. And considering the fact that, like, you know, it's like, it doesn't really make sense how they kind of just like gloss over the fact that, Seth and Paul have had problems with each other in the past. Like, Seth leading up to WrestleMania of this year, um, he was talking trash to Paul Heyman. And, and then now all of a sudden they're teaming together, they're in the group together. It makes no sense. Like, I don't get it. So, we just, we just have to accept that. Like, Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins are now in the team. They come eye to eye. They put their personal business aside and that's it. They decide to be friends and whatever. Like it just makes no sense. And so that's like, you know, that's like those are my issues that I have with Seth's character currently. It's just him being a part of this meaningless faction. It's just like for what, like okay, you have the same goals, you all want the same goals, you have the same vision for each other, and like fine, but like we need more explanations other than just that. And but like either way though, like why do you have to have Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed being in a faction, especially one that's pointless? Like you could be using Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed like for like being as singles wrestlers and like giving them a push, giving them meaningful storylines, or giving them a championship. But no, instead, what we're doing is we're just gonna you know we're just gonna have them be in a faction, and a meaningless one at that. It's like, come on, man, it makes no sense. I don't get it. um and like they're and like people are gonna say, I know people like to say, oh, but they're trying to build up Paul Heyman, I mean Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, they're trying to build them up, and so that's why they put them in this faction to like with Seth to put them over, you know and so that way they could get a push or whatever. Bro, you could have done that just a long time ago, years ago, when Bronson Reed has been on the main roster for years. Same with Braun Breaker at this point. He's been on the main roster for I think like 2 years now, 2.5 years. Like you could have been like had done something with both of them. So like there's really no excuse to like all of a sudden just put them in this pointless faction. Meanwhile, like for like have them pretty much like, oh, it's like you're pretty much just being like, oh yeah, here's here's the the main meal, right? This is the like the course 5-star meal, but and we know that that's what you want, but we're just gonna give you like some other like smaller foods that aren't gonna fill you up and that you don't really want, but we're just gonna give it to you anyways. Like that's pretty much what this is. Like you're just pretty much putting Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, like like if this is really to push them, then why are you like, you could have been did that a long time ago. It just makes no sense. Like all of a sudden now you want to do it. and you're gonna do it by having them meanwhile be put in a pointless faction that's going nowhere right now, and then oh, you already know what's gonna happen, because eventually their group is gonna split up. One of them is probably gonna betray each other. Like Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, they're probably gonna betray Seth Rollins, and who knows? They might end up doing some like storyline of like, oh, Paul Heyman sides, he betrays him too, and he was behind it, or he sides with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, and you know, and then they build up Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed as the new futures, or maybe only one of them betrays Seth Rollins, and it's Braun Breaker, and he's the new like you know um, he's like the main person that's gonna be guided under Paul Heyman. Like he's gonna be the wise man for him. And like I don't know, I feel like or they might just have Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed betray Seth Rollins, and they just go in their own ways separately. And that's how they build Braun Breaker from here on out in the future. But dude, like why? So like you're pretty much just that's just proving my point of the fact that this faction is meaningless. Because if your whole goal in the end is just to build Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed up, or just one of them up, which they're already, it's most likely going to be Braun Breaker because of the fact that, they've already said multiple times, like Seth Rollins and even Braun Breaker himself, he was like, oh, like they've pretty much already established multiple times that Braun Breaker is the future of the industry. And if that's the case, it's just like, then why are you in this faction? Why are you having Braun Breaker be in this faction then? Like you're pretty much just wasting all these months and probably a year or years of this guy's career just to have him eventually betray him. Like it's pretty much all these months and years are probably it's just gonna be filler. Or a year. Who knows how long this faction is gonna keep going on? But you get my point. Meanwhile, this is just like in the meantime, this faction is just gonna be a whole bunch of filler leading up to Braun Breaker betraying him and being, the future or whatever. It's like it just makes no sense. And and who knows, man? Like maybe that's not even what they're gonna do. Maybe they're not even gonna make Braun Breaker the future of the industry, considering the fact that, like, I mean, considering the fact that Braun Breaker isn't really over with the crowd. I mean, he is over with the crowd, um, but like only like he's only over with the crowd like as far as like barking wise. Like like obviously his barking chant um is over with the crowd, but it's not over with the crowd um as far as like him as a character. Like he's not really over naturally. It's just his bark that's really over. Like his bark is over a good amount with the crowd because they're always barking whenever he comes out. So a good amount of people in the crowd are always barking when he comes out. But as far as him in general, just without that, like he's not over really at all. Like sure he'll get some pops and some cheers like a decent amount when he comes out. But that's really it though. For the most part, he's really not over with the crowd. So who really knows that they're actually gonna try to build this, Braun Breaker up? Like maybe they're just saying Triple H is just writing Braun Breaker as the supposed future right now, but then when Braun Breaker betrays Seth Rollins, he ends up not actually building him up at all. Like I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, knowing Triple H. Because this guy doesn't know what he's doing at all, and he contradicts his writing and puts all these plot holes. And yeah, I mean, and it's just like Seth Rollins doesn't need to be in this faction, and let alone with these people. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, they're pretty much just jobbers right now, doing, being lackeys, pretty much doing Seth's work. That's all they're doing. Then it seems like they're just happy with doing it, and it just makes no sense. It's like I don't know, man. And then Seth Rollins is like dressing, like, and that's another thing is the way he's dressing. Like he's dressing all goofy and wearing these like corny, like cheesy, cringe outfits, and it's like, how am I supposed to take Seth Rollins serious as a leader of this group, but like he's dressing like that. It just makes no sense. He's wearing these like every week, almost every week. I would say no, maybe I would say like half the time he's wearing these like goofy, corny outfits, and yeah, I'm supposed to like take him serious as his leader of a faction. I can't. I really can't. It's not really believable. It's just laughable, and it's just like it just makes no sense. So that's another thing with Seth Rollins. It's just his presentation as a leader. Like he's not really being like shown as a leader. He's not really like, yeah, he gives demands and you know, he tells people what to do. But at the end of the day, he's I can't take him serious. He's wearing these like these like over the top, just like cheesy, goofy outfits that it's just like, come on, man. Like, how am I supposed to take this guy seriously as some kind of leader of this faction? I just can't take it seriously. It's laughable. And it's like, and then another thing too is not is because like, yeah, that's laughable. The way he's dressing is laughable, and but also the fact that Seth Rollins is like, his motivations, that he's supposed to be like, they're presenting him as a heel, right? That's what Triple H is trying to write him as. It's like, as a heel, he's like, him and this group are heels, and they're the bad guys, and that's the way Seth Rollins is being portrayed. But I've already made this video explaining why Seth Rollins is not a heel. And I hope my audio, this whole video, hasn't just been cutting out like 1,000 times, because I rewatch some of my videos that I make about WWE, and man, the audio is just cutting out 1,000 times, and like it's just like my voice is like so low and you could barely hear, and it's like, all you hear is just like me talking, but you can't really understand what I'm saying. And I'm pretty sure it's because like I'm probably putting my hand on like near my microphone from my phone, and like I'm blocking the audio. So I'm pretty sure that's probably why the audio cuts out, and it's probably cutting out as I'm talking right now. I wouldn't even know. I mean, it's stupid. I don't know why the hell it does that. I hope it's not doing it this whole video. I mean, it probably is, but I mean, I don't know, man. Anyways, I forgot what I was saying because I got distracted. Damn, I'm trying to. Dang it, bro. I forgot what I was even talking about. Oh yeah. No wait. Dang it, man. I got distracted. Oh yeah. What's it called? Oh my god. Oh my god, guys. I literally forgot what I was even saying because I got so I got distracted by me talking about the audio, because it was a real concern, because like I said, bro, like my audio be cutting out in my freaking videos, and it's annoying. And like, I know people are probably like, they probably wonder like, what the hell's wrong with his audio? Like, why does his mic sound like that? Why does the volume sound like that? It's my phone, bro. It's not even me. Like, I don't know, bro. It just makes no sense. But man, I'm trying to remember what I was even saying though. I'm trying to remember. Dang it, guys! I literally forgot what I was even saying. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. So Seth Rollins, like I said, he's supposed to be presented as a bad guy. He's supposed to be a heel, but yet there, like I've made a video talking about why he's not a heel. He's actually a tweener, and the reason why is because of the fact that he's speaking facts about Roman and Punk, and the bloodline, and but not really the bloodline. He hasn't. I mean, he hasn't really been talking about them. Um, really just not well, at least not the bloodline as a whole. Mostly just Roman, but you get what I mean though. He's been like like he's been like just talking trash about Roman and like speaking the truth about them, and like nothing that he said about them was a lie. Like and like Roman, like, and I've said this before. Like I said in my Seth Rollins, explaining why he's not a heel video. I said it. He's literally a tweener because he's speaking facts about Roman and the bloodline and his motivations for why he started this group and why he wants to be at the top of this company and have all the power. I explained why that all makes sense because he literally said it himself, I'm trying to prevent, and he also said it before, him and Paul joined alliances and made this group or whatever together. He literally said it himself, I'm trying to save the company, from people like Roman Reigns and CM Punk. People like them who, just people like Roman who just like show up when they want to but don't actually care about the company. They're just, he's just a part-timer and he only shows up when he feels like it, and he's like, holding the company hostage, and he's like, being all corrupt and evil, and we can't have people like him running the company, and we can't have people like CM Punk running the company either because he leaves the company when times get tough, and then he trashes the company, and he's only coming back for money. And so Seth's motivations aren't really heel motivations. His reasons for why he wants to be at the top and why he wants all the power and why he created the group and aligned himself upon him, and all of that makes sense. So why exactly? So that's why Seth is a tweener, not a heel, because those are face motivations, not heel motivations. Like wanting to save the company from corrupt people like Roman and Punk is not heel motivations. And his overall group of just like his overall motivation of just not wanting people like them to rule to rule the company, it makes sense. It's not heel motivations, that's face motivations. So how exactly am I supposed to believe Seth is a heel? Saving the company is not a heel move. That's literally a face thing. So if you have Seth Rollins having face motivations, like, and him speaking truth about Roman and Punk, and him not really doing heelish things for all these months, how exactly am I supposed to believe he's a heel? It's like that's my other issue with Seth Rollins, and it's not even on him. It's not even. It's on Triple H, because Triple H, I feel like he just doesn't know how to book faces and heels. Like, no one that he's trying to present as a face or a heel, most of them don't actually feel that way. Because they, the faces act that the so-called faces act like heels, and the so-called heels act like faces. You know what I mean? And some of the faces act like tweeners, and some of the heels act like tweeners, and it's just like all so on and so forth. And that's pretty much my whole point, is that Triple H doesn't know how to book the people that he's trying to book a certain way. Like, if he's trying to book someone as a heel or a face, it's like he does the complete opposite, or he'll put them in between good and bad, and it's just but still try to present them being one way or another, and it just makes no sense. It makes no sense. So I'm supposed to believe Seth Rollins is a heel, but yeah, Triple H is portraying him as a tweener. He literally is a tweener. But despite how Triple H is trying to write him and trying to portray him, he's literally a tweener regardless, because he has, his motivations are reasonable and make sense, and he hasn't really done anything wrong besides, okay, like, he teamed with heels like Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, and he dissed the crowd a couple of times. But what really has he done wrong? Other than that, other than those two things, what has he done wrong? Literally nothing. So how exactly is he like a full on heel? He's not. He's just a tweener. You know. He's just like he. You know. It is what it is. So to me, like to trying to portray Seth Rollins as just this bad guy who's just evil and blah blah blah. And it's like, okay, but if that's the case, then why are you writing Seth Rollins as someone speaking the truth and having reasonable motivations and not really doing any heelish things and having his actions be face actions and still like, you know, telling the crowd to sing his song, and you know him still showing love to the crowd, and you know wanting the crowd to shout his name, and you know you know talking about how he still has love for the crowd, and you know like it's just like it makes no sense. Like you're trying to present this guy as a heel, but you're doing the complete opposite. It just, Triple H has no idea what he's doing with Seth's character, and this is why. These are the reasons. These are all everything I said in my videos are all the reasons why I don't like Seth Rollins' character currently, because of the way he's being booked by Triple H. It's not Seth Rollins himself. I like Seth Rollins overall, and he hasn't become unbearable to the point where I'm just like, man, I can't. I'm not gonna watch him whatsoever. Like, screw this guy. He sucks. He hasn't gotten to that point, but I still don't. I still find him just like boring and just like, just like very, um, just not believable as a heel, and just very goofy and corny still, and trying to present him as this leader of a faction while having him be still goofy and like cringe and like corny, and it just like, it just none of this makes sense. It's just not good writing for Seth Rollins' character currently, and putting him in a meaningless faction and align in a random meaningless alliance with Paul Heyman, and all this is, it's just like, this is why I don't like Seth Rollins, who he is right now. And so I just feel like Seth Rollins, if you're gonna try to, I feel like what they need to do, man, they just need to like freaking stop this CM Punk and Seth Rollins feud, and LA Knight, and like all these people just need to like somehow like just find a way to like move on from each other, and they just need to like just do their own thing, because like this whole feud between all of them, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Paul Heyman, LA Knight, CM Punk, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, like all these people have been fighting each other for months and months and months, especially CM Punk and Seth. They've been fighting for almost a year now, since December of 2024, literally, bro. So it's like we need to move on now, bro. And we need to just like start fresh and do something new. Like, you're gonna have Braun Breaker betray Seth, do it right now. Why can't you just do it already? Like, what the hell? Like, bro, I'm just sick. We need the faction to break up. We need everyone to go their own separate ways. We need these feuds to stop. And that's really it. And like do something fresh with all these characters that I just named, and like, give them storylines, and some of them, give them titles because they deserve it, like LA Knight. These are all the things I would do. But I just don't think any of this is gonna happen, because I feel like they're gonna continue dragging this on. I mean, like Roman Reigns, this guy literally just comes back and leaves, comes back and leaves, comes back and leaves, and he's always gets this like major, hurt, pain towards him. Like he gets this, he always gets this like, like this big injury towards him, right? That ends up leading to him being gone for months and taken out. And then he comes back, he does filler feuds with this, with the same people, and then that's pretty much it. It's just like, it's the same stuff. He comes back, he leaves, comes back and leaves, comes back and leaves. He comes back, does a filler feud, either with the same person or different people. I mean, the only different person he started feuding with for since he came back last year at SummerSlam was with Solo. But after that, he's been feuding with the same people: CM Punk, Seth Rollins, The Vision, Paul Heyman. Like it's been the same people. He's been feuding with these people for months, and overall, he's just doing the same thing since coming back to fight Solo at 2024 SummerSlam. Overall, he's been doing the same thing, just coming back, then disappearing for months. You know, like he's been like since his feud with Solo. Since his feud with Solo Sikoa, all he's been doing is just coming back for a filler feud, then leaving, coming back for a filler feud, then leaving, gets his big injury, then he leaves for months, and then he comes back, and then he leaves for months, and then he comes back. It's the same stuff, bro. It's the same stuff. Literally yesterday, Roman Reigns, um, I guess the same stuff because like literally yesterday, this is like further proves my point is that yesterday at Clash in Paris, or Trash in Paris, or Ass in Paris, like literally Roman Reigns beat Bronson Reed. Then he gets speared by Braun Breaker. Then he gets tsunamied by Bronson Reed, and then he gets injured. And then he's pretty much ran off. And I know he has the whole Street Fighter movie, so that's why they're doing it. They pretty much did the same with the Rhodes. Like they pretty much had Drew McIntyre like claymore him through the announce table so that way they could write him out so he could go film the Street Fighter movie. But it's just stupid, man. Like I'm just sick of this. Yeah, I'm just sick of just Roman Reigns coming back for filler feuds, and then like either winning or losing, and then he comes. I mean, he's mostly losing. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's actually half and half. It's like he's either winning or losing, bro. But either way, it's like, he comes back, he does a filler feud, and then he either wins or loses. Then he gets his like big injury. Then he's gone for months again, and then the same thing pretty much. The cycle continues. It's the same stuff, bro. And it's like, this is why I'm just tired of this Roman Reigns, like, because like these are I've talked about this in my Roman Reigns is boring video. Like I literally said the same stuff, the same issues. Well, not the same issues, but pretty much the issues that I'm talking about, with Roman Reigns right now, I pretty much said it in that video too. I literally said Roman Reigns, all he does ever since he lost the title, all he's been doing is just coming back every few months to do a filler feud, and then he either wins or loses. Then he gets his big injury, then he disappears, and then, pretty much rehash the same stuff. The cycle repeat again, and again. It's the same stuff, bro. Roman Reigns, since losing the title, has become boring, stale. He's just a jobber. He's trash. Like, there's nothing interesting about him anymore. So, and the same thing with Cody Rhodes, bro. Like, Cody Rhodes, he won the title, and then for what? Triple H knew he was going to be filming the Street Fighter movie, yet he still gave him the title and had him win the title off of Cena on Cena's last year of, retirement. He decides to cut his title reign short on his retirement to give it to Cody Rhodes. Of all people, like, if you're going to cut it short, give it to someone like Drew McIntyre or LA Knight or someone just worthy of the championship. Not Cody Rhodes. He's already had the championship twice. Or he already had it before that, So now you're giving it to him again, especially knowing that he had to film the Street Fighter movie so he wouldn't be here every week to actually defend the championship and cut promos. It just makes no sense. Yeah, during his championship reign, he was called the fighting champion, and he's still being called that till this day. And it's like, how is he a fighting champion? Because during his first title reign, he barely defended the title, and now he's not defending it at all since he won the championship almost a month ago now at this point. It's just stupid, bro. It's so dumb. And, this is why I didn't want Cody Rhodes to win the championship, because I knew it was just going to be a whole bunch of boring, part-time, predictable BS. it was just, and then having Drew McIntyre be his first opponent, just so you can make Drew lose to him. It's just like, come on, man. Like, this is what we're doing, bro. Like, and you like it's so obvious that Drew's gonna lose. So why have him be the first challenger? Him of all people, you're gonna have him be the first challenger to Cody so that way he can lose. Come on, man. It's so dumb. Like, Cody Rhodes, not only did he not need to win the championship, especially off of Cena, but he definitely didn't need it if he was just gonna go film a movie, and not even be here to defend the championship and cut promos. Like, he's not. The title is meaningless. There's nothing like. Man, it just makes no damn sense, bro. But yeah, Drew McIntyre is here every week, and you could have had him be the champion by now, defending it, and he's cutting because he's literally here every week, either cutting promos or doing matches. And you couldn't have given him the championship? Like, come on, man. I mean, he's been mostly cutting promos, but that's because Cody is gone. And now Drew McIntyre, he's going to be fighting Randy Orton next Friday. Like, before he gets to Cody Rhodes, the big boss, the final boss or whatever, right? Before he gets to the final boss, Cody Rhodes, because he's now the final boss, I guess, we got to have Drew McIntyre get through Randy first, he's the big obstacle. Like, it's so stupid. Like, Cody Rhodes is not no final boss, and let alone what you're trying to it's like you're treating Randy Orton like some kind of henchman, some kind of hitman for Cody Rhodes. Like, you're having him go through fight Drew McIntyre before he can get through go to fight Cody Rhodes. Like, it's stupid. They're gonna do another filler match just because. Why? Because the reason why they're doing it is not even for a good reason. Literally, Drew McIntyre was speaking facts about Cody for all these weeks, and then Randy Orton randomly comes back a week and a half ago on Friday Night SmackDown, and he randomly just RKO's Drew McIntyre. And then a week later, last Friday, Drew McIntyre is speaking facts about Cody to Randy again. And then Randy Orton's like, oh, I didn't do it for Cody Rhodes. I did it because you're a prick, Drew McIntyre. You're mean, and that's why I RKO you. Like, seriously? That's your reasoning? Just because Drew McIntyre's mean, he's the big meanie. Like, that's why Randy Orton decided to RKO Drew McIntyre, and now they're gonna do this filler match. It's so stupid, bro. It is so dumb. And it's like Drew McIntyre can't ever just win any feud because because he technically won this year's feud with Randy Orton because he was with the tag match with Logan Paul, and Logan Paul got the pin, and Logan Paul pretty much won the match for both of them, thus making it so that Drew wins the feud between him and Randy. And it's like Drew can't ever just win a feud because he always has to fucking lose every single fucking time. You already know that more than likely Drew McIntyre is going to lose. And then you're going to have him lose to Cody Rhodes. It's like, oh my fucking God, bro. This is why I fucking hate Triple H. He's such a fucking shitty booker because he does stuff like this. He does stuff like this, bro. Especially the top talent like Drew McIntyre that don't deserve this fucking terrible booking that he's getting. Like, I just don't get it, bro. It's like all this guy cares about is his favorites, which are Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, Gunther, Damian Priest, Sami Zayn, who else? I'm trying to, because I know there's other people too. Did I get it all? Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, Gunther, Damian Priest, Sami Zayn. I know there's someone else. God damn it, I forgot who it was, but yeah, those are pretty much all of Triple H's favorites right there, because those are the only people that really get a push ahead of everyone else, and at the expense of everyone else too. It's like, bro, I don't get it, man. Like it's just the same people being pushed. Like it's obviously just Triple H's favorites. It's the same people, bro. And it's like, and like I said, Cody Rhodes, he's not showing up. But yeah, you already know they're gonna continue calling Cody Rhodes a fighting champion. How? He's barely defending the fuck. He's not defending the title at all. So how is he a fighting champion? In what way is he a fighting champion? Literally, in what way? um, and so yeah, those like it's like those are like the issues I've just been having with WWE lately. All these part timers like Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. I know Cody Rhodes. He normally isn't a part. Well, as a champion, he normally is a part timer. As a person who just shows up in general to cut promos. I mean, he's full time as far as in that aspect. But as far as defending the fucking title, he's not a full timer. He's just a part timer. Because during his first title reign, all he was doing was mainly just showing up every week and cutting these boring, useless promos. But he was not really defending the title whatsoever. He only had like 5 title defenses, and that's it. And yeah, they were still calling him a fighting champion. They're still calling him that till this day, even though he hasn't fucking defended the title at all. Like, what is this? Like, this is shitty booking. And then like we have Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch being as a team together. Okay, well, for what? Why? What reason? Why are they in the team together? I've been seeing people say, because I talked about this on YouTube, and like people were commenting to me saying like, oh, but it's because there's that's his wife. It makes sense. Like, I don't care if that's his wife. Like, why are they in the team together? Just because they have their husband and wife, and now they're gonna be in the team together. Like, okay. There's no need for that, I'm sick of people just like being in the same, being in some kind of alliance or some kind of group or being friends just because they have the same goals or they hate the same people. No, I'm sick of that, bro. Like you couldn't do that when it came to like Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. You couldn't have them be like some kind of alliance when they had the same goals, but you're gonna do that, for Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins just because they're husband and wife. It just makes no sense. I don't like like that was supposed to be some, they're now a team together and that was supposed to be some big surprise. Like, okay, it was surprising. I will admit that. But did I care for it? No. Like, first of all, it was predictable that was gonna happen because once I saw Adam Pearce talking about how Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, they're banned from ringside, and then Seth Rollins is like, oh, I'm 2 steps ahead already, and if I can't win by myself, I shouldn't deserve to be the champion, to be the world heavyweight champion, and I just knew that someone was gonna show up and and be some new member would join the group and they would help Seth Rollins win and through interference. It was predictable, bro. It's just like it's so stupid. And like it's like it's just the same stuff every week, bro. The same stuff with Seth Rollins. He like I get they're trying to portray him as a heel, so they're trying to go with that classic heel trope of just the heel cheats by wins by cheating, like through interference and whatnot. But I'm just sick of that trope. I know people like to say, oh, but that's part of being a heel. That's part of being, that's a trope. That's just the classic move, that they do. But it's like I'm just sick of it though. It's like it's so, like come up with something new. It's so boring. It's so overdone. It's like it's the same thing with like like these random brawls that like come out every single week. And then the security come and they break them up, and then, the people still try to fight each other while the security is like breaking them up, and then they, more chaos ensues, and then the security guards get attacked. I'm tired of that too, and I'm also tired of like the faces coming out to save to help out, to save the other face from a heel, and then like the heels get beat up and they get knocked out the ring, and then the faces, they stand tall, and they just like stand at the end, um at the edge of the ring, like, and they're just leaning on the rope, and they're just like looking down at the heels, and the heels are just looking up at the faces, and the heels are screaming at the faces, and the faces are screaming at the heels, and the faces are standing tall, just standing there, and they're just standing tall, screaming back and forth to each other, and then it leads probably to a match or whatever. Like I'm sick of that too. Like it's so predictable, man. It's the same shit every week. This is why I've been skipping most of WWE segments and promos and matches, because there's a whole bunch of boring filler. Like, why would I waste my time on this shit? I'm tired of this stuff. You know? I'm getting tired of the stuff I'm already seeing, let alone the stuff I'm not watching anymore, because I've already seen that 1,000 times too. And it's even worse than what I'm already watching, or that I still continue to watch. There's like, I'm Triple H just needs to get fired or something, man. Someone else needs to take over, because he doesn't know how to do his job. Like, why is Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins in a group together? Other than then, husband and wife. I don't care. Like, Becky Lynch could be doing her own thing. And same with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. They could be doing their own thing, achieving things for themselves, and not all. And Paul Heyman, he could be doing his own thing too. But no, let's just all have them be in this pointless group together, in this meaningless group together, for no reason whatsoever, and that's it. Like, I know, man. I'm not gonna accept that. And it's like, and like, I just saw Monday. It's not nighttime for me right now, so I can't even say Monday Night Raw. But I just saw Raw today, because today's Monday where I'm at still. So, I just saw the Raw today on Monday, and Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins and CM Punk, they're pretty much, they pretty much were just talking crap to each other. Seth Rollins, he just comes back. He comes all the way over here just to taunt CM Punk and like make him mad, and then have the typical, female wrestler hits the male wrestler, and the male wrestler doesn't do shit, and it's just like, and then CM Punk leaves, and and then Jay and Punk, Jay Uso and LA Knight pretty much just come back, and then they have a match with another tag match, but the same people that have been feuding against each other, and they end up teaming together to fight Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. It's like, it's the same stuff every week, bro. It's the same stuff. Like, I'm just like, I don't know how people are not tired of this. Like, plenty of people are, but there's also still those like WWE fans that just defend everything. They're still okay with everything, including having like people like Jelly Roll show up to SummerSlam. Like, it just, I don't know, man. Like, this product is in a bad spot, and it seems like these like hardcore fans of they defend everything, and so me, I just can't defend this. I can't defend it, because at the end of the day, like, it's just garbage, Yeah, it's like, why would I care about the same filler stuff over and over again? And then, apparently this is supposed to lead to AJ Lee coming back. Okay, well, AJ Lee coming back, and this is how she comes back, just so that she can do some repetitive filler feud that's been going on for months, and she could come back to save CM Punk, so that way they can fight together against Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins, and like, this is what we're doing, bringing AJ Lee back just for some filler, boring, ongoing feud that should have ended a long time ago. This is how we're gonna bring her back. Like, no, I don't want it. And it seems to me that they're teasing Rhea Ripley to team with CM Punk, because I just, like, on today's Monday Raw, they literally had CM Punk and Rhea Ripley talking, And then not long after, Becky Lynch slapped CM Punk, and pretty much CM Punk was like, "Oh, you're gonna regret slapping me." So I have a feeling, what's gonna happen is pretty much. Well, CM Punk also said that he's gonna show up to Chicago on Friday Night SmackDown, and he apparently has some kind of plan. He was like smiling or whatever, and so I don't know. Maybe I feel like, what's gonna happen though is just gonna simply be, Triple H, pretty much just gonna have CM Punk and Rhea Ripley team together against Becky Lynch, and Seth Rollins, and it might not be on SmackDown on Friday Night SmackDown, despite what CM Punk was smiling about, because he seemed to have some kind of plan. But maybe that is something else, and but I feel like it's gonna be predictable that it's gonna be CM Punk and Rhea Ripley teaming together instead against Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. And it's just I don't like why, I mean, it's better than AJ Lee coming back to do this filler feud, repetitive boring feud. They got at least and at least also Rhea Ripley's not being a part of some damn title match. So I see a positive in there. But man, I just feel like this feud has to end between the Vision and CM Punk and Roman Reigns and Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso, and because now he's getting involved, and Sami Zayn, because he's probably still gonna be coming around too. Like, all these people need to just stop feuding. It's the same fucking people, and like some of these people disappear from the Vision feud for a while, and then they come back, and then they leave, and then it's just the same shit recycled, bro. So these are all my issues with Seth Rollins currently, and there's just nothing interesting about him right now, man. And him winning the championship at Clash in Paris through interference, it was so predictable. Like, obviously that was gonna happen, I didn't know it was gonna be Lynch, but it damn sure, and I knew it was gonna be some new member joining the group. So, I mean, it's just dumb, and I knew that they were gonna do some BS where, like, Becky Lynch, either on Monday Night Raw or sometime down the future. I had a feeling. I just knew they were gonna do some BS where they were gonna have, like, Becky Lynch hit CM Punk, and then CM Punk doesn't do anything back. I just knew that was gonna happen. I had a feeling it was gonna happen, and it did. And I'm sick of I'm sick of that. Like that, like, I don't like CM Punk, and I think he deserved it as far as, like, because I hate his character. I think his character is just he's definitely more on that heel side as a character to me. So I despise his character. I think he's a hypocrite. I think he's just a corporate pawn. And so, and like, he's been talking crap about Becky Lynch's husband, Seth Rollins. So, her slapping him makes sense. But I'm just sick of the whole, the female wrestler hits the male wrestler, and the male wrestler doesn't do anything back. Like, I'm just sick of that, because it's like why? Why are you doing that for? Why, like, it's first of all, it's fake wrestling. That's one thing. So nobody cares. Like, literally nobody, most people don't care, and nobody should care if whether or not, like, a freaking, like, a male and a female wrestler, like, fight in a scripted wrestling show. Like, who cares, So, and it seems like WWE doesn't care either. Like, Triple H, I'm sure he doesn't care neither. But he's just doing it just to do it, because he could easily just be writing, the male wrestler to hit the female wrestler back in self-defense, or just in general. But no, he decides to, just put the male wrestler in the situation where he gets hit, and then he doesn't do anything back. That's he, like, and for what? Why? Why do you keep doing that shit? Like, if you're not gonna, Like, there's really no reason other than because I doubt, like I said, I doubt Triple H actually cares about the whole, you know, oh, like men shouldn't hit women. Like, I doubt he cares about that when it comes to a fucking scripted wrestling TV show. You know, it's all entertainment at the end of the day. Nobody is taking it fucking personal. At least most people are, and I'm sure Triple H doesn't take it personal either because it's a fucking scripted TV show, regardless. So why is he still choosing to do this? Why is he still choosing to have the male wrestlers not be able to hit the female wrestlers? Why is he still doing that shit? Like, he's just doing it just for no reason, or he's scared of backlash. I don't know. It's either one of those two. But it just makes no sense. Like, who cares about backlash, and if you're doing it for no reason, that's even more stupid. Like, you can easily just like have the male wrestler hit the female wrestler, whether they're being self defense or not. Like, you're literally doing it anyways because I mean, it's not like it's not like it's not like they're not doing it anyways, because in some ways they're still doing it regardless, because like I said, it's a scripted TV show, but in real life, the actions, like, because obviously, like, half of the time when it comes to the punches and the kicks in wrestling in WWE, half of the time all those kicks and punches are fake, and it's just like they try to make it look real, right? But whether if it's but like and then the other half of the times the punches and kicks are real, to give that brutality and to make it, more realistic or whatever. But whether if the punches and kicks are real or not, you're still setting up situations where the wrestlers are getting hit for real at times. So, and that means, whether if this TV show is scripted or not, you're still having times where out of character and out of storyline, you're still having the people hit the other person at times for real. And it's supposed to be a part of the show, and you're still having that be a real thing, and so if that's the case, then why, if that's the case, then it's like you're pretty much doing it, like, it's like, what I mean is that, because like I said, if you're gonna have like wrestlers at times actually hit each other, and like, because that in real life, Triple H is scripting it and telling the wrestlers, like, hey, we're gonna have you hit this person for real, and that's supposed to be the the real life conversation and part of the real script and everything, and you're pretty much Triple H is like, I'm gonna have you hit this person for real to make it like brutal, and then at times you're doing that with like a male wrestler, like, accidentally hitting the female wrestler. You're pretty much like kind of going, like, you're kind of already going that route of like the male wrestler hitting the female wrestler to begin with. Like, obviously it's scripted to be that way, like it's scripted to be an accident, but in real life it's not an accident because it's supposed to be a part of the script, so it's an intentional hit, right? You get what I mean? So it's like, if that's the case, you're pretty much halfway going through that route of like having the male wrestler hit the female wrestler. So you might as well go all the way anyways and just have it be scripted for the male wrestler to hit the female wrestler intentionally. You might as well go all the way, because if you're gonna like go halfway, be like, oh yeah, it was the male wrestler hits the female wrestler on accident. No, you might as well just go all the way if you're gonna do it that way anyways. If it's gonna be a real hit anyways, then why are you just gonna go halfway and be like, play it off as because it's a scripted TV show, so you're pretty much scripting it as an accident. But it's not an accident, like, as far as like the real life performance, because it's obviously part of the show. So if you're gonna go halfway there, you might as well just go all the way and script it to be an intentional hit, right? Where the male wrestler intentionally hits the female wrestler. You might as well do that. You know, like what the hell is this halfway shit? I'm just sick of the whole, the female wrestler hits the male wrestler, and the male wrestler just stands there looking all scared, looking like they want to cry. Then they walk away all cowardly, and then a female wrestler probably comes and saves them. I'm just sick of that, bro. Like, who, like I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if Triple H is doing that for no reason or if he's scared of backlash, but it's just stupid, regardless, bro. Because like I know for a fact this guy doesn't actually care because it's a scripted TV show. So why, you might as well just do it. And so who cares about the backlash, and because like most people don't even care anyways. Like, we already know it's scripted, and it's not like you're not having, like what difference does it make anyways if you're gonna have like some big wrestler, because either way, if the narrative within like the storyline, not like outside, like not outside of the storyline, but in the storyline, if you're gonna have it be, the male wrestler is not gonna hit the female wrestler, like the male wrestler is thinking to themselves, like within the storyline, of course, like I said, if they're thinking to themselves, oh, I'm not gonna hit this wrestler because they're a female wrestler, if that's the case, then why are you putting situations still where either way, like you have like female wrestlers fighting against like smaller female wrestlers, or you're having like bigger male wrestlers fighting against smaller male wrestlers. Like what difference does that make? You're pretty much doing the same shit. You're having someone fight against a weaker person. So and like I said, I know it's scripted, but if you're gonna have that be part of the script, then you might as well have the male wrestler hit the female wrestler a part of the script too, because you're pretty much doing the same stuff regardless. Because if you're having some like 7-foot muscular male wrestler fighting some 100-pound skinny 5'2" male wrestler, and you're having them fight together, and the 7-foot tall muscular wrestler, male wrestler, beat up the smaller male wrestler, what difference does that make? You're pretty much having a bigger, stronger person beat on the weaker person as part of the script. What difference does that make? And then vice versa too. Like you're having these like big, tall female wrestlers like Raquel Rodriguez or Nia Jax fighting against like Liv Morgan, who's like 100-pound female wrestler. What difference does that make? You're pretty much doing the same stuff, having a bigger wrestler fighting against a weaker, smaller wrestler. So it's just stupid, Like I'm just sick of this stuff, man. But anyways, enough me going on a tangent and ranting. These are all my issues with Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins sucks. He needs a character change, and that's, him and Becky Lynch being as a team together is stupid. So yeah, I don't like it. It's just, yeah, I hope they don't last as a team that long. That's just how I feel. But hopefully you guys enjoy, like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.